channel. Yesterday I was thinking about what the hell I was gonna film this week, and I thought, why don't I let you guys decide what we're gonna do today? So I put it on my Instagram stories yesterday, actually last night, so about maybe 12 hours ago, and I said, ask me anything. So I've not read any of these yet, so I have no answers prepared, but what I wanted to do was really show you my pure reaction about the questions that you would be asking me and how I would respond immediately, as well as once I've sort of gotten into the answer of the question, then you could really kind of get into the big juicy bits of it. Today I'm going to be answering all of your questions from my Instagram. I've also just filmed a couple of tutorials as well. One about my 10-minute makeup routine, which will be coming out in the next few days. So I think this week I'm going to do 2 videos. So let me know what you think about that in the comment box below. I've also filmed some IGTV content as well. I kind of want to get a little bit more into that, but it is difficult for me in terms of the time constraints. I realize that if you want to do something, you make the time for it. However, my life is really busy because I'm making time for so many things. And as much as I want to be able to invest as much time as I can, I realize realistically, I am a little bit constrained in that department. Kids are at daycare, Fabian's out working. I think actually he's getting his hair cut. He's not really working at all. But I also want to put together a quick video for everybody in the next few weeks about a full life update. I've had a lot of DMs in the last couple of weeks about Mackenzie being in hospital in last week's video. And there's just been so much going on here. So instead of me replying to everybody individually, I did make that video so everyone could see what's going on. So I hope you've seen that one. If you haven't, I'll put it in, I think it's in this side. I think yeah, I'll put a link here. I think it's here. If it's not, that's really awkward. It's over there, but I'm pretty sure it's there. Anywho, all right, I'm gonna get straight into it. I'm noticing already that there are a lot of ring questions. I don't know when that's coming, but hopefully soon. We'll just get that out of the way now because we know that they're coming. Okay, do you find it easier parenting Carter or Mackenzie's personality? Okay, so first of all, I have to say with twins, the natural thing to be doing all the time is comparing the two, and it's really easy to do. I actually do it very often. But what I will say is that they are very different, and they are both very easy and difficult to parent for completely different reasons. Actually, I take that back. Mackenzie is so easy. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but Mackenzie is so easy. She's such a great kid. She sleeps perfectly. Like, you put her down, she goes to sleep. She wakes up when she's supposed to. She never has any fuss. I think there was maybe a period of about 2 weeks when she was maybe 14, 15 months old, and she kind of protested a little bit at nighttime with sleep. She just clicked straight back to being perfect kid all over again. I realize that when I say perfect, take it with a grain of salt. I'm kind of joking in that way. Like, she is so good. She's not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but she's such a great kid and toddler and baby. She doesn't really win. She's very easy in that way. Carter, on the other hand, again, if you're comparing them, Carter is very bored easily. So he just needs to be entertained. And once you have him entertained, he's quite an easy kid to manage. He's really fun. He's really giggly and laughing a lot. Like, he has a lot of fun all day. I mean, I'm laughing just thinking of him because he's just a little firecracker. You know, he just finds little things to do, and he throws things. He has an amazing arm on him, like launches things across the room. So I don't think he's a difficult kid to look after, but if you're comparing the two, I think he's still great, and he's not as easy as Mackenzie because he does kind of protest a little. He pushes more of the boundaries, but typical boy, typical girl, that's kind of what they're doing at the moment. She's quite happy to sit in the corner, whereas he's a little bit more needy in the way of just needing to be entertained and always trying to get your attention. What's the hardest thing I've found about having twins? I think the hardest thing I've found about having twins, apart from the pregnancy, I've never had a single pregnancy before, but the twin pregnancy was something obviously I'd never experienced, but it was so consuming for me. I could not get my head around how uncomfortable I felt. I put on over 30 kilos, so I was just this being. I was a monster. I felt like I was just the size of a house. I'm gonna show you a photo of my toes and my feet about how swollen they were, and maybe even, I might even just put it up here, a photo of me in hospital the day that I gave birth, well, a day that I had them. But yeah, I just don't even look like me. So I think that was the hardest part. Like the body changes, I'd accepted that the body was going to change and that didn't bother me, but it was more that a lot of the irreversible damage that the scars and things, the stretch marks and stuff, I'm a little egotistical. I like to look a certain way and feel a certain way. And I've spent a lot of time modeling in front of the camera, trying to be a certain way for myself. So having all of that taken away from me, the control wasn't too bad to lose, but it was more that I knew that it was out of my control that it was happening and that I couldn't change the end result. I kind of struggled with that part of it. That was definitely the hardest part of being the pregnant part. The most difficult part about the twins is more just pandering to both of those personalities, and they're so different in who they are and what they're about. And I think maybe having the two of them want different things at the same time, that's been a bit difficult. And because they're going through the same things, you know, at the moment they're quite attached to me and Fabian, so it makes it difficult to kind of leave the house by yourself or without the kids. You know, to get a babysitter is a little bit more difficult because you kind of just think, oh, you know, they'll survive. But if they're spending an hour crying for mummy or daddy, that's a little bit difficult. But I think initially, once I'd had them getting out of the house, I didn't really have anxiety until maybe 6 months in to having them. I didn't like it when Fabian left me by myself with them, you know, obviously having to go to work. I struggled with that, doing it, not the action of doing it, but having that time to myself to think it's all on me. That kind of compounded over the time, and that made me feel quite anxious and stuff. What do I find difficult? I found travel difficult. I found trying to keep to a sleep pattern not difficult, but it kind of made it limited, so that like the lifestyle and the movements and things, if I wanted to go to the shops, I couldn't just go in the middle of the day. I had to go and either plan it in the morning, which meant I'd plan it the night before, or I'd plan it in the afternoon, which means I had a limited time to do that. So it's just kind of like the struggle of the juggle, I guess, but nothing overwhelmingly difficult, but all of the little things combined would compound after a while. So another question is, how do you cope single parenting when Fabian is away for racing? I actually, maybe about a year ago, I was putting a lot of stuff on my social media, on Instagram in particular, about this, and I got in trouble for saying single parenting because technically I'm not a single parent. I'm supposed to say solo parenting, which full respect to that, and I can understand that. So how do I cope solo parenting? For me, having a routine is really important. It helps them sleep, it helps me sleep, it gives us organizational structure, and everybody sticks to it, and it works really well for us. It doesn't work for everyone, but if I had twins from the start, I was thinking, Lord help me, I'm gonna need some sleep, and the best way to predict what was gonna happen was with having a routine. So how do I solo parent when Fabian is away? How do I cope with that? I think that, you know, as a kid, I would have loved to have been raised by two parents myself. My dad passed away, so I wasn't able to have that. And to have those two people raising me and showing me that environment that was really important to see the relationships between the two and how they interact with other people and what they would do in the house, out the house, and everything else, I think would have been really cool. And I feel as though a little bit of that, when you have a partner who works away, gets taken away from you, and it does fall a lot of that responsibility on me for the kids. I do struggle a bit with it, I'm not gonna lie. I don't enjoy it. I love having him here, and I love having him here helping because we don't have anyone else to help. So that is good. But we do have daycare now, and I do have a cleaner for 3 hours a fortnight. So it's like, it's actually the little things that make the biggest difference, and that's one of them. So I'm very, very grateful for that. How do I manage to have time without the kids? Again, going back to the routine, I just want to make sure that all of my ducks are in a row. When they go to bed at 7 at night, I've got a couple of hours to kind of get my work done, reply back to my emails. They also nap during the day for an hour and a bit, maybe almost 2 hours sometimes. So I keep the house as tidy as I can. I vacuum once a fortnight on the opposite time that the cleaner does. I just get my jobs done, and I know the things that I need to do and the importance of those jobs. But in terms of going to like the shops to pick up things for the house, or if I need a dress for the weekend, I try and avoid taking the kids. So I've got 2 days of daycare. In those 2 days of daycare, I generally get most of the things that I need to do done. So if I need to get a facial, or if I want to go and get a massage or something, I can afford to go and do that on my days off. But I also have to, fit everything else in, going for a horse ride and having things that I need for myself and my personal sanity, exercise, and fitting in all those things as well. I try and do those on Mondays and Thursdays when the kids are in daycare. And then everything else I kind of manage to get done around those times. Does Fabian come home from a weekend of racing and drive the family car like a race car? No, he doesn't. He's like a grandpa when he drives, honestly, on the road. He's so slow. I'm constantly like, hi, you're in the slow lane. Can you please get in the fast lane? Because I clearly know you know what you're doing, but you're in the wrong lane. It's like an itch that needs scratching. So he gets that itch out. Like he's scratched that itch on a race weekend. So but it is funny. It comes back to like January and February every year. And he's like, starts to hoon a little. Not hoon. I think he just kind of takes a roundabout a little more aggressively. That's about it though. I'm definitely a much worse driver than he is. On the roads, I think. I know. Do the twins have separation anxiety from each other? I think so, a little bit. But I don't think they realize what's going on. I think they're just so used to having someone next to them all the time. When we were in the hospital, they had a lot of time apart. And when they came back together, it was really sweet to see them too, because they just kind of reacted so much differently. And it was like they lit each other's fire up again. It was really sweet to see. They do get along really well. They do fight a little bit, which I'm finding more and more as they get older, but they are really good together. So it's really nice to see that. Are we planning on having any more kids? No. I would happily adopt. I don't think Fabian would, or I would even foster kids. One of my best friends was fostered growing up, and I really relate to her. And particularly with my story, only having one parent growing up, it would have been really nice to have somebody else to sort of talk to and rely on. And I think fostering a child would be really cool. And maybe even foster twins, probably not as young. I think that's a few years away for us. It's a lot of work, twins. So maybe not, but I don't know. No more kids. No more kids for us, especially not in this body. The best part about pregnancy, that was when it was over. The best part about pregnancy for me, I just hated being pregnant. There was nothing great about it, to be honest. Like I said, you saw those photos before, there was nothing great about it. I think that the most incredible part is knowing that you're growing a human being. It's pretty phenomenal. That's the best part about pregnancy, apart from it being over. Yeah, that's it. The hardest thing about being a mum, so many. I think it's finding the balance. The hardest thing for me is finding the balance of how do I do what I need to do? How do I do what they need to do? How do I make sure that Fabian's happy and the kids are happy, the dogs are happy, I'm happy? So I just found when I was happy, everything else seemed to be like flowing. I think that's the hardest thing about being a mum. Finding that balance, and to find that balance where everybody is winning, that's difficult. What motivated you to pick Mackenzie and Carter's name? Well, we had a whole bunch of names that we had on lists. We probably had about 15 or 20 on each list of boy and girl names. I always wanted Billy as a girl, and Rebecca Judd has twins, and she's got a boy, a girl, and 2 twin boys. Oh, I actually don't know whether it's boy, girl, or girl, boy. Anyway, one of her daughter's name is Billy. And she actually said, I wish I didn't call my daughter a boy's name, a traditional boy's name. And which kind of makes sense because she's now got 3 boys and a girl with a boy's name. So it's like, which one is which? And so it's not, because you know who they are. But I didn't want anybody looking at my kids saying, which one's Carter and which one's Mackenzie, which one's the boy, which one's the girl. So I just thought with one of each, I didn't want there to be any kind of confusion. That's Mackenzie, she's a girl. That's Carter, he's a boy. A few people actually said to me, did you know Mackenzie's a boy's name as well? No, had no idea, but it doesn't really matter. I think Mackenzie's traditionally more of a female's name. I kind of liked Mackenzie Ray, and I like to be able to shorten, this is where Billy came from, I like to be able to shorten Billy into a boy's name, and I like to be able to shorten Mackenzie into a boy's name, so Kenny kind of became Kenny, but I don't know anyone else called Kenny, so apart from men, I don't know a girl called Kenny. Carter, Fabian picked Carter and he liked Carter, so it was good that we had 2 kids because I got what I wanted and he got what he wanted, so that worked out quite well. That's pretty much the story of how Carter got his name. Fabian liked it. I mean, we both agreed on both names, but yeah, that was definitely his favorite. Are there days where the twins are a handful and others they are really easy to handle? Absolutely, absolutely. Right now is mostly pretty easy with Mackenzie, but Carter's very clingy to me. He's got a lot of separation issues from me, but he's fine. How do you balance everything such as twins, career, relationship without being overwhelmed? I think I touched on this earlier. I am sort of struggling at the moment with my mental health, so I'm really just discovering what it is that's making me unhappy underneath. Normally I'm very happy. I don't really have big issues or anything that's really overwhelming me as such. But once those things kind of start to pile up, and that's when I start to, I guess, have those triggers. A few things that have helped me in meditation. So I've got an app called Headspace. That's been really helping me. Also just talking about my problems, saying them out loud and getting them off my chest has been really good. Writing a list and solving the problems one at a time. So how I don't feel overwhelmed is just relaxing. Breathing really helps me because I get quite a tight stomach in here. Like it just feels like everything's coming in here. I feel really sick, and it makes me quite ill. For one, it's recognizing that it's happening, and two, discovering how to relax and kind of release that tension from my body. That's kind of how I don't let it get overwhelming. I've learned over time, trying not to put too many things on my plate at once and outsourcing. So sometimes it is worth spending the money, getting somebody else to do those things instead of me feeling the pressure of having to do them myself. I mean, 3 hours a fortnight of cleaning and having a cleaner has taken so much off my shoulders, you know? Delegating chores also helps. I've been asking Fabian to do more things in terms of, can you do that specifically? I find sometimes men are great at going, I didn't know you wanted me to do that. Whereas if I ask him to do something, he'll do it, but sometimes he doesn't know, you know, because he's not a mind reader. He doesn't understand that I want that done. Did you have any idea of what the gender of the twins were going to be? Absolutely none. I took a complete guess. They say, I don't know which one it is, whether boys or girls like sweets or savory, but between the two, I had huge cravings for savory foods like tomatoes and olives. And then towards like the mid to end of my pregnancy, I could not get enough sugar in my body. Like I would have, oh my God, so much. Like I stopped myself. I wasn't, you know, I know you're like, I bet you put on 30 kilos because you just didn't stop eating sugar. Yes, I did put on weight because I didn't stop eating sugar, but I was so swollen. You'll see that in my feet. Fat does not go where that fat in my feet, that was not fat. That was just swelling. That was all fluid. I had huge sugar cravings towards the end. And they say, you know, some are like the boys crave savory or sugar or whatever it is, and the girls are the opposite. So I kind of didn't really link any of that. I didn't believe any of the old wives' tales, but I was just like, no, I'd like a boy and a girl, so I'm just going to say I'm going to have a boy and a girl. Fabian thought 2 girls. So if you watch the video, it's on my Instagram. I'll try and find the post. If you watch that post, it's the first balloon that we popped when we did the gender reveal, I popped the boy's balloon, Carter's balloon, and Fabian is like, huh? We're having a boy, because he thought we were having 2 girls. So he'd never considered that we were having one of each. And he was just like, oh no, I think we're having 2 girls. I'm like, no, boy, girl. And then I popped a boy. And neither of us had thought about having 2 boys. So then we were like, oh my goodness, what if we have 2 boys? That would be something that we hadn't thought about yet. Oh dear. So I was right. So we did it by our pool, and we were standing on one side of the pool, and then all of our friends were standing on the other side of the pool. And then just behind them, we had 3 different lots of balloons. So we had a big blue group of balloons, a pink and blue in the middle, and then we had pink at the other side. So then we were looking at them all. As we were sort of saying our speech just before we were popping the balloons, we said to everybody, okay, just look behind you, you'll see pink, blue, and pink and blue in the middle. So if you think it's a girl, go over to the pink ones. If you think it's a boy, both of them are boys, and you'll go over to the blue ones. And if you think it's a boy, girl, stand in the middle. And it was really cool because like everyone kind of had their own idea of what it was. And that was pretty much the only game that we played at our baby shower. And it was just perfect because you could see what everyone picked. And then when I popped the blue one, all the girls, just the 2 girls end was, everyone's like, oh, we didn't get it right. So it's just cool. I just have the best memories from that day. So yeah, so then when we popped the 2, everyone in the middle was like, what do we win? What do we win? We guessed right. No, you win, my kids. The joy of me having these 2 children. Why did I stop modeling? I stopped modeling because I'd moved quite a bit. So I'd lived in Newcastle, Sydney, Melbourne, and now I live in the Gold Coast. So moving between all those states and stuff, you do kind of have a struggle to kind of get consistency with your clients. It's very hard to have all of those things happening and be successful at all of those things when you're in different locations. It's very hard to find new clients to model for in very different places. And Sydney and Melbourne were great for work. Gold Coast, there are not a lot of fashion hubs in the Gold Coast. And I never really tried on the Gold Coast to do much modeling. It wasn't really my interest. I was looking at other things. So there's also another question in here about promotional modeling. I used to do a lot of that back in the day. I still own Max Models, which is a promotional modeling agency, and that's still going really well in Australia. I don't really advertise it much anymore, so I've still got a lot of my existing clients. I'm trying not to build that too much at the moment because I just don't have time. My time management is pretty good most days, but trying to fit all of that in, again, trying not to stack up my plate too high. I am, you know, diversifying all the time and trying to make sure that I've got those different income streams, but also being realistic with my time, trying to balance that between the kids and Fabian and everything else in between. My favorite makeup brand, I don't have one single makeup brand, but I have a few, and I would definitely mention Bodyography. They've got some really great products, and they're an Australian company as well. And Melissa Sassine, she's a Sydney makeup artist, and she's just incredible, such a lovely woman. But she has a great line as well that she uses on all of her brides. She has a lot of bridal makeup. Yeah, the Bodyography mascara I wear every single day, and then I kind of filter through a few of their products as well. They've got some good lip lines as well, some lipstick lines. I'll also definitely mention Tarte. I use their makeup in terms of their concealer and their foundation. Bodyography, I have to say, going back to them, they have a really good pigment in their eyeshadows. Special mention. Makeup spray that I use, the setting spray, is by Urban Decay, and I really love that one as well. I use it every day. So they're kind of the products that I use all the time. Nothing really in particular that this brand is the best at everything. I do have a lot of Tarte palettes as well. I guess they're pretty high up on my list. I just go in what works for me and my skin. My hair is horrible to brush after I wash it. Have you got any tips or any good hair masks? I use a lot of Stefan products. I actually use all of Stefan products. I found that they're very, very good. I will mention, actually, I've got them in front of me because I just finished filming another hair video, but I will mention these two. If you are finding that you find it difficult once you've washed your hair and then your hair is wet, always use a comb. If you're brushing it, you are stretching the hair fibers and the hair follicles, and when you stretch them, they become weak, and that's how they snap off a lot. So you'll find a lot of people will just have like about here, they'll have like a little splitting of hair. That is contributing to that, so don't brush it, always comb wet hair. I also always use this Ultimate Leave-In Conditioner by Stefan. It is so good. It is so good, and you don't even have to buy this brand if you don't want to. There are so many good leave-in conditioners like this. It's like a creamy kind. Don't put too much in. Start with a little bit and then build it up if you want to. If you put too much in, your hair will get quite oily. And also, this is a Hydrate and Style oil. I love this oil. Oh my goodness, it is so good. These two products I actually use together in my hair after I wash it. So if you're looking to do something like that, I highly recommend those two. So I'll put a link in the description box down below. Are you and the twins coming to Townsville? No, I'm not. I'm actually not going to go to many races this year because it is difficult with twins to travel. Also, if they're under 2 years old, yes, they do fly for free. However, you have to have one adult per child. And if I fly at the same time Fabian flies, sometimes he doesn't go until like Tuesday or a Monday even. So for me to fly with Fabian, I'll be there for a week. It's a long time for me to go somewhere while I'm spending a whole lot of money other places, plus logistically taking 2 kids, a pram, all the things that they need to sleep with and all those things. It's just a lot. So I think we're gonna look at going on a few more local holidays in the car, maybe to Byron or the Sunshine Coast, that sort of stuff first before we make too many big trips on planes. We are going to go to the Auckland round though, so we do need to get passports and take all that whole show over there, which will be great. It'll be fun, but it's just a lot of work for me. And then, you know, I've got 2 kids to wrangle at a track. Have you tried doing that? I mean, I can't even get down the road without one of them trying to get out of the pram or screaming, saying, get me out of here, or feed me to keep me busy. It's just a lot of work for me at the moment, which is fine. I don't mind doing the work. Sometimes it's just easier not to do the work. I also got another question about filming at the track. I have to work out some kind of filming rights in terms of, you know, the broadcast rights with Foxtel and Supercars Media. I would like to do like a vlog or something at a race. The next one I will be going to is QR, so it's not after Townsville, it'll be after QR in a couple of weeks. So that would be nice. I would love to vlog there. I just don't know what the terms are around that in terms of broadcast rights. So I sort of have to just check that first. But otherwise, yeah, we will be doing something like that if we can. What skincare do I use? I use a whole bunch of different skincare. At the moment, I'm really loving Esme Skin Minerals. I've just done a video this morning for IGTV on that. So I'm gonna pop that eventually in the future when that comes out. I'll put that in the description box as well below, so you can go and see that if you like. I really like the Esme products. They're really nice. The cleanser's really lovely, and they've got quite a lot of products in their product range that all work together. So I'll pop a link in the description box down below if you're still here with me after, I don't even know, 20 minutes or something of listening to me. Skincare, I also love Biology. I've been using that for over a year now. It's really helped with my acne and my scarring, and they've just brought out another line, which is the BQK line, which is all for pigmentation. So I'm dying to try that. Not actually dying, but I'm very desperate to try that. I've actually not even opened it yet because I've just had so much stuff going on at the moment. Great reviews so far on it though, so I'm pretty keen to get into that. Another question, how Kenny's going. She's going really well. Her cough is kind of getting there. She still has a bit of pneumonia. It is quite frustrating though, but I mean, the whole process has been quite frustrating, but it's nice to have an answer now, and it is good to see that she is kind of getting somewhere with that. So it looks kind of nice, doesn't it? I never curl it anymore. Lovely. How do you and Fabian keep the spark with him being away so much? It's not even so much with him being away. It's more that like every day we're here with the kids. It's hard to get away. Like I said, there's separation from the kids at the moment. Date nights, few and far between, but we talk all the time. So we're constantly in contact. I think I've seen him 2 or 3 times already today. It's not even midday yet. And he's just in and out of my phones. Like he's talking to me, he's texting me, we're sending pictures to each other, we're always updating each other with all those things happening in our lives. So I guess the communication is the spark, so that you're not losing that connection with one another. And you just have to, I guess, you know, we've been together nearly 8 years now, so it's like always making the constant effort for each other. I think that really helps. You know, just little things like holding hands or a hug or a kiss. Those things are so easy to do, but I think after a long time, it's very easy to go your separate ways with each other. So we are really good at the moment, actually. It's really nice. He's just such a good human being. I'm really lucky to have him. He's such a good person. So hopefully he's actually still watching this. So if you are, babe, love ya. And my last question for the day is, what is your morning routine or daily makeup routine? I've actually just filmed this today, which is very cool. Not the whole routine, just the Esme Skin Minerals routine, but I have also filmed like a quick 10-minute makeup video, so that will be coming soon. And also how I do my hair and how I do my makeup really quick and how I do my Esme Skin Minerals. That's also in the works. So all of those things are coming. Future me is gonna link them in the description box down below so you can always see them. That is it for me today. I feel like I have spoken about quite a lot. If you have any more questions, leave them down below and I'll get back to you when I can. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's been a long one, but if you're still here, mwah, good job. And I cannot wait to do more content with you guys. I'm really trying hard. So keep those comments coming in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, ring that bell. You gotta ring that bell. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am so happy to be here. So I can't wait to show you more content in the future. Love you guys. Bye.